Hey. I greet you once more, my people, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. Uh, it is morning here. Please share my channel to other new subscribers, to your friend. Tell them on the information that we bring on this channel. It is Mr. Till the End TV, Mr. Levinson. Please. Today I want to look at why you should consider transferring your case to a new embassy if you feel your embassy is not very fast in terms of doing the interview for green card winner. This is strictly for DV Rotary purposes, and I want to talk to you about why it is important to consider transferring your case to another embassy. It comes with advantages and disadvantages. However, I'm going to share with you on how I feel, why I feel you should consider changing the place of your interview. I'm going to drive you in a short scenario on what happened to my country. My name is Levinson. The back people who know me, I'm from Zambia, and prior to my coming to the USA, I had a friend who came all the way from Sudan to Zambia. This guy we literally met online, and he was contemplating on transferring his case from Sudan to Zambia. Should be Kenya, or he had the choice of transferring it. It's either Kenya. He had considered other embassies on where he felt he could transfer to his interviews. So he was referred by some man who is also in the USA to say, try to talk to this guy by the name of Mr. Levinson, who is a YouTuber. He's Zambian. So this guy came into my inbox, and then I started asking me questions. You must understand there was a communication breakdown because the guy can't freely express in English. But we tried our level best until the guy managed to come to Zambia. So he popped into my inbox and started asking me to say, no, I'm considering of transferring my case. But what you do, you need first, before you consider transferring your cases, you also need to find out on the list of countries that has got less people winners or less winners, because once you find that you want to transfer your case, maybe in your country there are few people who win, you might change your chance. You might alter your chances of being interviewed. So you must check on the list of countries. Like for instance, you are in Africa now, you want to transfer to an African country. You must check on the names, on the numbers of who won in that particular country, so that you're able to transfer your case. So what you do, you write to KICC, or you write to KICC to say you want to transfer your interviews to a particular country, a particular embassy. So what they will do, they will respond to you to say you write to them. Then they'll allow you to write. You write to them to that embassy, and then that embassy will give you a feedback. When they give you feedback, you can now write to that embassy. You first write to KCC, and then the KCC will respond. Then they'll refer you to the country, and that country you write, and then once I accept that country, the KCC now you will send your case to that particular country. So the reason why you should consider changing your case to the country that you feel can do the interviews is you have to look at how fast is that country, how do they fast do the interviews. Countries like Kenya normally has got a lot of people, and Kenya has got it's in East Africa, and they have a lot of countries that people go for interviews, like about Rwanda. There should be countries. Part of Sudan also do their interview. Go to do their interviews in Kenya, and part of East Africa countries. There should be another country. Not Rwanda. There's another country. Uganda. Yeah, Uganda. They also do their interviews in Kenya. So you have to consider, say, am I going to have a chance of being interviewed? Some people, you find out maybe in a country, people who want, there should be maybe 6,000, and what are the chances of you being interviewed? So you have to be very sharp and considering in transferring your case. This guy, after he was accepted to transfer his case, he told me to say, I want to come to Zambia and do my interview in your country. And then he had to apply to the immigration office so that they can allow him, they can give him a visa to come to Zambia. And this guy, he was given the visa, and he finally came to my country, Zambia. Before he came, he tried to look for a cheaper place to stay, like Airbnb. Apparently that thing is not, it is, but it's not all that in my country. So what he told me to say, okay, look for ends. I could have accommodated my house, but my house was very small. So I just looked for a small lodge, for just a one self-contained lodge. He came, and this guy stayed just for 3 weeks, and he stayed, and he just paid a minimum amount of money in that lodge. And the guy came. When he landed, I went and picked him at the airport, and then I showed him the embassy, and because literally when you want to transfer, you have to go and do the medicals in that particular country where your interviews will be conducted. So I took him for medical to show him, and to also apply for the medicals. So when he finished applying for the medicals, he did the medicals, and then we took his document to the embassy. And when that day for the interview came, I escorted him to the embassy. He went and did the interviews. He was lucky. His visa was approved, and then he went back to his country. So now, the reason why I'm coming with this video, I want you to, there are other countries that has got a lot of people who win, and sometimes if you have a higher case number, you might not get an interview. So what do? You have to be very sharp. You have to think, which country should I go in? Can I go and do my interviews? Just write to KCC, then you also write to that embassy where you want to do the interview. Once they respond, they accept, then the KCC will transfer your case to that particular country, and then you go to that country and do the interviews. Other countries, it is very difficult to navigate the area and how to get that side. You need to have someone who can guide you, especially a person who is a resident of that country. However, you also need to, that's why we always say, you also need to involve God in everything that you do, because God is the one who's going to give you someone to guide you, a good person. You might land yourself into someone who's got problems, someone who's a bad person, a good person. You always need to ask God to provide you with someone who's a good person of that particular country. Because once you find a good person, he's going to show you all the loopholes on how to go about that country, and how you can get to their offices, on how to get to the embassy. You will find that life would be very simple and smooth until you do the interviews, and you finally get your visa. So all those are the things that you need to consider when you want to transfer your case. It's actually doable, and I prior to my coming here, had a lot of guys from Ghana who wanted to come to my country, because there are a lot of people who win in Ghana, and sometimes you might not get an interview. People like in Egypt, they've got maybe 6,000 people who win, and then you are considering, am I going to get a chance to be interviewed? So if you think sharp, it is possible to transfer your case and go and do the interviews into that country where there are few winners. The countries like that have got few winners. Countries like Madagascar, countries like Swaziland, countries like Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, especially southern region countries, it's got few winners. So if you are from northern or any part of the country, any part of the world where you feel you want to transfer, for instance, maybe you are working in that particular country and then you happen to win, you can transfer the case into that particular country where you are staying or where you are working from. It's easy and doable. There is no need of you going back to your country to do the interviews. You can literally do those interviews into that country where you are working from. So you also need to consider all those things so that you don't spend a lot of money. I am doing all this. I want you people to not say it is possible to do a transfer and have an interview in a different country. I just told you about my friend who came, and right now as I'm talking to you, he's in the USA. He landed a month ago, and we literally chat once in a while. He's telling me that he loves the environment. He's into a different state, and my prayer and hope is that one of these fine days we can arrange to meet so that we can share, maybe even do an interview with him so that he can share with you on how he was able to transfer into my country. Thank you so much, people. I love you. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. I salute. Thank you for the numbers. Bye bye.